You know, I don't know if this is a filmmaking channel or an inspirational life kind of channel. I don't know what kind of channel this is, to be honest with you. An artist channel talking about making art, performance art, writing. I mean, my channel is a lot of things. But one thing is for sure, my channel represents who I am all the time. And so something this morning kind of pissed me off a little bit. And it inspired me to make this video. So let's watch this video, and maybe it'll clear up a little bit of what my channel is, but more importantly, it'll clear up who I am. So, you know, in my opinion, you should only make videos when you're inspired to do so. Like, I don't think you should just throw up the camera and do anything. I think you should make videos the way you make films, or the way you write a play, or when you write a song. Like, it's art. You know, you should be inspired to do it. And I know that there are people on YouTube who just do it for a job, and they have to do it every day. And they have to constantly come up with ideas, and part of the process is coming up with those ideas. But in my opinion, or for me, the way I work, I don't do stuff unless I'm inspired to do so. And I was greatly inspired to make a video today, because I shot a video yesterday that I uploaded. And you know what? This is a filmmaker thing right now. I'm shooting this in the middle of this vast open space, in the middle of nowhere, because that's how I kind of feel today. I feel like small among this gigantic world. And it never gets past me that my little opinions are so trivial, and that I am just a speck of sand in this ocean of humanity. You know, I don't think that my word holds any more weight than anybody else's word ever. And by the way, just so you know, I'm like, since I'm a filmmaker, I have a Boya shotgun mic on top of the camera. I'm using a Purple Panda lavalier mic with my Zoom H1N, which has been acting weird lately. And I'm also using this Hollyland Lark Max, recording directly into this little microphone, so I have some kind of audio that's working today, because I have no idea what's going on with everything, and I just wanted to be safe. But I digress. I never think that my word holds any more weight than anybody else. But anyway, I shot a video yesterday and I posted it. And this video was like talking about cameras. You know what I mean? Like talking about why I would choose a camera, and how I would choose a camera because of the body, you know, how strong it is, what it can withstand, because pretty much every camera on the market today is incredible. It does great work. You know, you can make a Hollywood level film with any camera, you know? I mean, there are films being made on smartphones that are winning awards. So it's not about the image quality of the camera. And we lust after the best camera, the perfect camera, all this kind of stuff. And everybody wants the highest specs and the best capabilities, and they want to be able to do anything that they could ever possibly think of with their camera. So anyway, I made a video talking about what I would want in a camera. And, you know, I used it kind of as a metaphor for other things, which I often do. And I get a comment from somebody today who has actually left a similar comment in the past, and then he disappeared, and then he suddenly came back again. And he leaves a comment saying, yeah, you know, this talk about white privilege, like he was offended that I mentioned white privilege, which I didn't even know I mentioned white privilege in the video. But I wouldn't be surprised, because I talk about it all the time. And I actually wrote a whole play based on white privilege. And so I figured I would make a video today to make it crystal clear who I am and to ask you the question, do you like me? Because there are only two reasons you should be at this channel. You should be here if you like me or if you hate me and you get some kind of weird satisfaction out of watching somebody who you can't stand, you know, like the way people used to watch Jerry Springer, or, you know, where you can't turn away from a car accident or something like that. Like there's just some kind of strange thing that people have where they want to watch things or pay attention to things that they just abhor, that they can't stand. Or you appreciate me, you like me, you respect me, you enjoy the channel, you get some kind of entertainment value out of it, you learn something from it. There's something here of value for you. But I guess, you know, like, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to be here just to get the most amount of subscribers or the most amount of likes, just to make money here. I make enough money to live. You know, I'm trying to make money on YouTube too, and I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm not going to front about who I am, and I'm not going to shy away from it either. So get to know me and decide if you like me. And if you don't like me, I ain't mad at you if you go away. It's fine. Go watch somebody else, you know? But I just want to be clear that if you don't agree with me all the time, I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to come after you. I'm not going to dismiss you, because my whole thing is trying to bring people together. And as much as my whole life has been about fighting against racism and bringing up how this country was founded upon white supremacy and how white privilege is something that needs to be obliterated. Any kind of privilege needs to go away, because it disrupts equality, and everybody should be equal. Everybody should have the same opportunities. Everybody should be safe. Everybody should be fed. Everybody should have enough food. Everybody should have health care. Everybody should have access to education, good education. I think if you don't agree with those things, then we have some serious disagreements. And nobody should be treated differently just because of the way they look, just because of the way they love, just because of, you know, how they dress, just because of how they define themselves. As long as they're not hurting anybody else, they're not interrupting anybody else's life, they're not impeding upon your movement, anybody should be able to do whatever they want. Everybody should have the opportunity to own something. Everybody should be treated equally with kindness and compassion. Everybody should have the same health care. And so this person leaves this message, you know, this morning about how, you know, this whole white privilege thing. And, you know, somebody once accused me of being racist against white people because I talk about white privilege. First of all, I'm white, so I'm not racist against white people. But, you know, I don't love anybody because they're white. I don't love anybody because they're black. I don't love anybody because they're Muslim. I don't love anybody because they're Christian or Jewish or trans or Mexican or from Nicaragua, from Russia, from China. I love somebody because of their soul, their heart, their compassion, their empathy. That's who I am. That's what I'm about. You know, nobody is a monolith. It drives me crazy when people say, yeah, you know, the whole problem here is because of, you know, the illegals. The illegals. You know how many people are here who are undocumented immigrants who have contributed more to our society than I would venture to guess the majority of our population. Like, I know a lot of people who are undocumented, and they're amazing people. They do jobs that nobody else would even want to do. They pay taxes. They go to school. They are educated. They educate their children. They have come here from, in many cases, from unspeakable situations, you know, life-threatening situations. They come here to give their children a better life, to flee a place where they're going to be killed. That's what America's supposed to be about. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're going to come to my channel and enjoy everything, at least know who I am. You know what I mean? You could leave me any kind of comment. I guess I'm leaving this video because this guy who left this comment today, as soon as I responded to him like this. I said, listen, you know, To say that white privilege isn't a thing is preposterous. This country was formed on the basis of white supremacy. No white person in this country has ever been defined as less than 100% of a human being. But black people were. Women have also been defined as less than a full person. No white person in this country has ever been thought of as something that you can own or sell to somebody else for money or goods. But black people have. So to not understand the history of this country, to not understand the way Native Americans have been treated in this country, from the very beginning, from the moment other people showed up in this country and murdered and raped and stole from the Native Americans, to not understand that is just being ignorant. It's just being, blind, self-blindness, like you just don't want to pay attention. You just don't want to hear it. To not understand why certain things hurt people. Wow, you see those birds? Wow, that is crazy. I can't move the camera, but there are like 1 million geese flying across this field right now. I know you could hear them. Wow. I have never seen anything like that before in my life. Whew, it's kind of scary. Man, they probably agree with me. That's why they're going crazy right now. Anyway, you know what? This guy disappeared today. He deleted the comment. He deleted my response. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I want people to know who I am. I want you to know clearly where I stand in the world. That I am for happiness and joy and safety for everybody. Not just me. I don't want to get an apartment just because I'm white. I don't want to get a job just because I'm white. I'm Jewish. You think all Jews take care of each other, right? No Jew has ever taken care of me just because I'm Jewish. I'm not religious. I don't even believe in organized religion. I'm Jewish by birth. I found out that my biological mother was Jewish. I was raised by a Jewish family, but we weren't Jewish at all. We didn't follow anything. We didn't have Friday night dinners. We didn't not do anything on Saturdays. We didn't celebrate anything. We were Jewish twice a year, Passover and Yom Kippur. And I never even understood why we did that, but we did it, I mean, I don't want to be treated any differently than anybody else. But I understand that I am, and I have been in my life. I walked into a health food store one day with a good friend of mine, a very, very close friend of mine, this girl Alicia. And she blew up, she exploded, and started screaming at the person behind the counter who was making juice. And I didn't understand why, and I didn't know what happened. And then she walked out of the store, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? She said they took care of this woman who came in after me. And they saw that she came in after me. And Alicia is Dominican, big, kind of olive-skinned woman, beautiful woman with gigantic hair, who looks like central casting for Latina. And she's been dealing with that her whole life. And while we're talking about it, she was so enraged, and she started to cry. But she was crying with rage. And, if you're white, you just don't understand stuff like that, in terms of the culture of this country. You might understand that if you're somebody who came from a family where your mother or your father abused you or beat the crap out of you, or, if you grew up under bad circumstances, of course. I'm not saying that all white people have lived these, charmed lives. Of course not. But to not acknowledge that if you're black, if you're a woman, if you're Muslim, if you're gay, if you're trans, to not acknowledge that people like that have been treated incredibly poorly in this country is just not paying attention. You're just not being honest. And so I'm honest. I'm trying to tell the truth, so I want you to know who I am. So do you like me? If you like me, stay here. If you don't like me, I hope you stay here. And I hope we could talk about things, and I hope you don't run away and just delete it if we have an exchange, because that exchange is actually the very thing that can fix us. And that's why I do Q&As after every show that I've ever done, because I want to talk about these things. I want to discuss these controversial issues between people. I want us to come together and talk about it, because if we don't communicate, if we don't come together, nothing's going to get better, ever. It's just going to get worse. There's a lot of political stuff going on in this country right now that I'm not going to get into. And we are headed down a very dark, dangerous road right now. And so I think now more than ever is when the people in this country have to come together. Otherwise, we're in danger. And the fact is that we are the most diverse country in the world. Everybody lives here. And you might be one of these white people that wants all people of color out of this country. You might be one of those people, but you know what? It ain't gonna happen, because this country is filled with everybody. And in my estimation, that's the most beautiful part of us. You know, I got a message recently, a text from somebody who I went to college with, and she also sent me a message similar to what I heard from somebody else the other day on my channel, which was, you know, she referred to people as the illegals. You know what? It makes me sick to my stomach. Makes me sick to my stomach, because I guarantee you, people who say that shit have people in their community who they know who might be undocumented, who are working in the fields or working in the kitchens of a diner or a restaurant or something like that, or who are, you know, have kids that are playing Little League with their kids, or neighbors who they love, or whatever, who would never say that to somebody who they know and who they probably love. I can't stand it. You know, we need to treat each other better. We're human beings. We need to love each other. We need to come together. Compassion and empathy and love, those are the only things that are going to save us. So anyway, I'm getting off track. Do you like me? Because if you don't like me, first of all, get in line. There are plenty of people who don't like me. I'm very outspoken, and I'm very honest with this. And if I suddenly lose hundreds of subscribers, I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't care. But if you agree with any of this, or if you disagree with any of this or all of this, I hope you stay and I hope you work with me. And trust me, almost none of my videos are going to be about any of this. I'm just who I am. Most of my stuff is going to be about filmmaking or human stories, inspirational stories, stuff like that. But I'm not going to hide from who I am. I'm freezing too, you need to know that. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here because I got stuff to do. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you hang in there with me. And that's all I want to say about that. And I hope that guy comes back, because to delete my response and to run away, that just means you're a part of the problem. So, yeah, that's it.